I am flabbergasted, liar. She's all like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready to stream." Runs away. See how that is. Oh, we already Sky Dog. I gotta earn these likes, otherwise I'm gonna feel. I just lost my train of thought. Really? Hey, it's going Sunday, Monday school stream. We had a crazy weekend, and I missed all the content I was supposed to do, which means tomorrow I'll be doing the video game thing that was supposed to go up Saturday, and Sunday will be the Sunday. Wednesday will be the sermon. Yeah. I also am in desperate need of a haircut and trim. It used to be that I could go on camera and it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I've lost some hair. I don't know if you've noticed. I conveniently don't have a light above my head right now, but it is blinding. And that the more my hair grows, the more of a hobo I look, no matter what I do with it. Things are turning out. Look there. The ball head won't be so bad. Hey, I aim to serve. It's my secret weapon against the FBI agents when they show up. You ever, thought about how disgusting their lives must be, selling their souls to the devil and having to watch disgusting people all day long? Have to watch this fat overgrown Republican guy that they're supposed to blackmail. Oh God, he's out of the shower again. Oh, they don't pay me enough for this. Do you think of the poor FBI agents who watch you? Yes. If you're a flat, flash them even more. The blackmail photos now. Look, we have video of you shaking your naked. Put it up. Why were you staring at my window? Anyway, I think I've gone on a tiny bit of a tangent.
So was that envelope that says photos? It wasn't blackmail?
When are they gonna blackmail up? You didn't do the dishes last night. What? You told your wife you would, but you didn't. Oh my God! No, don't tell anyone. Oh, sometimes it's funny being someone that's squeaky clean. It must frustrate some of these people. What do you mean he doesn't? He didn't murder anyone when he was a child. I thought everyone did that, says the weirdo people in the Epstein circles. Or I guess we'll show you the video where you're being racist. But I put that on YouTube. It's not hidden. Doc, it's okay. Anyway.
Leave the cat alone.
I'm glad you're all here. This could be a little rough. Government stuff's happening again. I don't know if it's related to the letter we got, but yes, it seems tomorrow I'm going to be on the phone all day again and getting ready to hit up a state hearing because apparently no one at the local government office stuff understands even the most modicum of the law or how not to break it. It's their own darn law. No one there. Yes, no, maybe so. I think. Well, might be a job offer.
Did I just throw that?
It could. I'm hoping it is, but I'm not going to jump to conclusions till I talk to the guy properly. So, hey, a little prayer for that would be great. A little prayer for the government situation. I still can't. I guess I just don't think anyone's actually going to do a state hearing, even though they so obviously broke the law. It hurts me. It's just
not once, but.
And it's all when I looked up the system, I'm like, oh, I don't technically need a lawyer, and they like provide everything. So why don't more people do this when there's problems? Anyway, well, maybe I'll find out. The point is, I'm gonna give them one more chance tomorrow.
3
And if-
strikes and they're out.
No one actually talks to me about this. Like today, it was call you back. Oh, I knew they were never gonna call me back. So I'm not using it as an excuse, but it definitely.
Put it in something.
Yeah, and I just wasn't able to get things out in time, and I feel really bad about it. But, when people threaten your family and your children, sometimes you get a little distracted. But hey, we're going to get back into it. It's just going to be a little later this time. That's all. So, I hope you all did your homework, because this whole stream, I know, we're going to start with the homework, because the homework is so much about what I want to talk about. Yeah, you did. Sure you did.
Yeah, I did.
Liar. You watched me do it.
I did it earlier.
Right.
I reread the old chapter. I don't know. Oh, yeah.
No worries.
I told you about it.
Down, girl. Anyway, because the homework is so close to what I want to talk about anyway, we're just going to do the homework first and then talk about it. Oh, man. Oh.
What?
Did you put that up?
What?
The bag?
I put that out this morning.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
No.
being cheeky.
I was not being
My wife made that bag. It's on Amazon. It's cute. I thought she was. I didn't see that all day. I was so distracted making calls and trying not to yell at people.
Over there, and I moved it because it was in my way.
It's just so perfectly there, though. I thought you were being cheeky.
No. So the pillow's up now.
Cheeky.
Not.
So the cheeky
no.
pillow. Anyway, your homework was Luke chapter 11. Which is a very interesting chapter. I know I say that. It's like a broken record. And this is an interesting chapter as well. It's because they're all interesting, dang it. What do you want from me? It's not my fault. That was my bookmark you just stole. Idiot cat. This is a very mature Sunday school. So, Luke chapter 11. We have a rendition of the Lord's Prayer. Not my favorite version of it. Luke is a little more methodical and dry about certain things, but he can be much more clinical. Like, we get into all kinds of detail about Judas's death, including how the intestines came out and stuff. Good times. He's a doctor. Everyone else were just like, oh yeah, he hung himself. And Luke's like, and then his intestines exploded.
Due to the weight and gases.
It was like, sometimes I imagine Luke, moral Dr. House or something. He was like with all these crazy people. Anyway, keyword there was moral. So the next part's something everyone should read and always misses. This is the classic God telling everyone, hey, yo, if you know how to do good gifts and your child asks for a fish, which one of you would give him a snake? And then like the story about the man coming like in the middle of the night asking for bread, and just out of the audacity of it, he gives the guy bread, not because he likes him, but just because it's get him to shut up and audacity. And he basically is saying, if that guy will do it just because it's so audacious for someone to ask, how much more so should you ask big things of God? And this, I would add, it takes faith, but it's also one of those things of asking God what he wants you to ask. And it is important. Prayer is a crazy animal. For whatever reason, whether it's rules we don't understand, which is my inkling, prayer needs to be repetitive and often. As we see in Daniel, when Daniel's praying, and it takes 21 days for the angel to get to him because the demonic prince of Persia was waylaying him. And in different Prince Michael had to fight and aid him, right? And then he had to go back and help because the Prince of the Greeks was coming. And yeah, so that's, I always tell people, I won't get into it in this stream. If your situation is like that and the devil chooses to fight it, that means we have confirmation in the Bible to lay God's will for at least 21 days. So you need it because, and pray ahead of time, at least 21 days ahead of time if you can, just to be safe. Don't worry, most of us aren't going to get the attention of a principality of darkness that thoroughly. Yes, me and my wife.
If you're pregnant,
I think me and my wife might have.
You might want to prep ahead
a time. My wife and I might have interacted with something similar. I think it was more of something. No, I was thinking more of our interactions in Florida, and I would say it was probably more rather not the thing, but a representation of that thing, or a representative messenger, if you will, freaky thing. Not fun. And we dealt with it in Florida the entire time.
Stop beating ahead?
Yeah. But again, I don't want to make this entire thing about spiritual warfare. Because I know Skydog knows we get on this a long time. It could take over the whole stream, baby. And I'm not saying we won't get into spiritual warfare, but you know. It's another stream. There's only one this stream to be about. Okay, come on. We got to talk about other things every now and then. That's how I got fired from my last Sunday school thing. Apparently, talk about fighting witchcraft too thoroughly or telling.
That's the crazy thing. You had kids tell you stories they wouldn't tell nobody else.
It's true. You'd be amazed how many kids around you have probably messed with Ouija boards and had very negative outcomes. I was surprised. I didn't expect it amongst those kids.
The thing that broke the girl's necklace.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah. Anyway,
Moving on.
Point is, if kids don't think they're going to get ridiculed, you'll be surprised about the stuff that they've been through. But hey, now that I've brought up all that negative crap, ooh, conspiracy time real quick since we're on the topic. So, there was a certain Aztec war goddess thing that they would sacrifice their children to. I know, big wolf. It's what they always did. It's like, Aaron, you do know you need to narrow the field down. It's like they did that with all of their gods. It's true. It's annoying. But there was one specific one. She was known to wear white. She would appear in their midst, kind of wailing, and they were supposed to give her sacrifices.
Oh, yeah.
And then there came a time where she came up, and this is actually the start of the La Llorona myth, funny enough. And she wails, this is like, I forget,
is it right?
Like 10, 15 years. I got to work on the Cortez shows up. And she shows up, in the middle of like one of these big Aztec towns, and Montezuma knows about this. And they bring the message to him, and she's crying out, "Mis hijos, what will I do with you? My children, what will I do with you?" Hinting at the fact that the Aztecs were her children.
Is it that only Mexicans can hear?
Yes, in the La Llorona myth, there's a lot of versions of it. It has changed to this fun myth about a witch that takes children to a woman who killed her own children in a jealous rage, who always pops up in white. Funny enough, Lady of Death, right? That the current cartels are worshiping. Yes, the cartels have a cult, if you don't know. They worship a twisted version of the Mary. Now, the funny thing about it is, right? They take away all the color. You know how most Mary statues have blue or red or a Shaw. They take all that away and then give her a death mask, and they put her all in white, and they call her Lady Death. It's almost like the demonic mother of the Aztecs is back. What? Crazy. Principalities of darkness. It's like they don't go away or something. And then there's the La Llorona myth where supposedly only Mexicans can hear her cry. And she comes and takes children, almost like she still demands sacrifices from the Mexicans. All the more reason, if you are Mexican, to A, go home, and B, get prayed up, get Christianed up, because your leaders, not just mine, they're all Epstein types. Your leaders, Mexicans. Oh man, I'm on a way tangent. Hang on, everybody. Strap in. I didn't know we were going this way, but we're gonna. Your are direct spiritual descendants of men who killed your ancestors for being priests and being Catholic and Christian. Look it up. It was the something Cristo War, and they literally tried to eradicate all of the eradicate Catholicism and Christianity so that they could reinstate their Aztec religion. This happened in like the 1930s, by the way. This is a fairly recent event. This is a similar government, and nothing ever happened. Like, no one was punished. It wasn't a big deal. The Pope kind of like sneezed in its general direction while it was happening. The United States just goes, oh, hey, you're murdering all those Christians down there. We could do something about that, but we won't. And eventually, there was a small enough outcry that the Mexican government went, okay, we'll stop murdering them. Their whole thing, and these Catholics were really based, by the way, right? They didn't constantly talk about Mary or anything. You know what their battle cry was when they were being lined up against the wall to be shot? Cristo Rey. Cristo es Rey. Christ is King. They did the Christ is King chant before we thought it was cool. And while they're being shot up, that was part of how the war got its name, is all these priests and these peasant guys who refused to lose their religion to all of these freaking nut jobs who ranged from let's bring back Aztec murder religion to just atheist idiots from the Enlightenment of all things in Mexico. Right? Oh, kitty. Yeah. That bothered me when I found that out. In that very same time period, we sent Pershing over the border to chase what's his face. Starts with a P. Pancho Villa? Yeah, Pancho Villa. But, we couldn't do anything when they were murdering Christians across the border. That would be just too much. We can invade when people spit in our general direction as raiders and bandits, but help our fellow Christians. That's crazy talk. We can invade Cuba on a drop of a hat and a fake joke, but help Christians across the border? No way, senor. That's too much. Can't do that. That'd be just down diabolical.
You made a Midwestern.
Maybe. No, I thought it fit the moment, personally. I mean, a sneeze and a bad poker game made us invade Panama. I still when I was in ROTC briefly, one of my retired staff sergeant guys who handled the inventory for us, right? He was actually a special ops guy in Nicaragua. He knew places where I'd grown up. He'd been there. We actually had a funny talk about that.
I was wondering about that.
By his little jungle runs in the place I grew up in, and right. We were able to do that.
A gun and yell bang.
No, he was too retired for that.
Oh, he actually had a real gun.
Yeah, I'm sure he did, actually. Ironically, wife likes to mock me because our OTC wasn't allowed to have real guns. It was pretty funny. With little rubber guns, we yelled bang at each other in the woods.
Oh, I guess that.
So, I say all this as a long tangent to point out that these old religions have been here the whole time. They haven't gone anywhere. They haven't stopped. And your government, just like the Mexican government, is following it. And it's nice to live in a time. Like, you know how crazy I looked and sounded when I was talking about this in 2016? My whole family thought I was a nut job. I'm like, there's literally video of them in Bohemian Grove chanting to an owl god thing. Did I mention that, the Lilith and the La Llorona and all that connection is also connected to Moloch and the owl god? Yeah. Owls was Lilith's thing. Lilith.
And it's on the book of Harry Potter.
The thing. So it's very important. Don't you know? This is so spiritual. Golly. I owe you guys a good sermon after this. But it's important. Your enemy's out there, and he's not going to stop. And no, it's not going to be a nice thing. If they think they can get away with it, it turns into El Cristo Rey war, and they line you up against the wall. And if you're lucky, they just shoot you. Tried to steal the cat's food.
No, she's playing with the cat.
That too. Play with it more quietly.
He did not.
Yeah. What? He's got balls. I've seen them. Anyway, we should probably get farther into our homework. Luke chapter 11. And the next one is Jesus and Beelzebub. Hey! Chase the cat, chase it too. Hey, you're not allowed to pretend you're that bored of our Sunday school lesson here. God is listening. Skydog. You should be ashamed. Now he's probably ignoring me too. He's like, why are you still on this section? It's not even the section you're going to talk about. So, also, classic story about how they all tried to, the Pharisees, when they found that they didn't like him, tried to say he was doing all his miracles by the works in the arm of the devil, and he pointed out that against the devil, how can his house stand? Now, to be fair, there is a small amount of warfare that goes on amongst the enemies.
Sorry.
But it's like a survival of the fittest thing. So the best way I've seen it described is, it's funny enough, not what he thought he was doing. Oh man, there was a time when I was trying to listen to Jordan Peterson books with audiobooks. I never finished even one for a reason, and we all know now why. But back then I was like, everyone was hyping it up, so I'm like, there must be something good here. And it was just,
I remember you told
and
me
he goes on these long rants in these horrible books about his dreams, but there's actually some interesting things to glean from them because he's a Satanist freak. And you see the mind of the world of the Satanist freak, and in his dream there is like 1,000 pyramids with everyone trying to run to the top of the pyramids, right? And at the top of each of these pyramids there's an eye, and then there's a giant pyramid and an eye above all of them, and they're all competing amongst each other to get to the top. And I realized what he was describing. He was describing the Satanist worldview. He was describing all these different pagan religions, Islam, the Chinese stuff of various types, versions of Buddhism, all of it, right? They're all under the devil, the all-seeing eye that's on our dollar bill, right? And they're all competing against each other to be the devil's favorite butt boy. Right now, a certain group of people in Palestine who have convinced a certain other group of people to bomb Iran are the devil's favorite butt boy right now. And they worked very hard for that position. I realize I probably can't take that joke to its completion now that I really want to now. I'm sure you can fill in the gaps, how they took that position. So, that's the kind of competition we're talking. It's controlled competition. Does that make sense? The devil's house doesn't fight against itself. The devil's house competes within itself to figure out who's going to be on top. But the devil never lets it get to the point where it's like all-out war, to all-out destruction. You notice, suddenly there's a dog next to me. So distracting. Now, despite all these wars and stuff in the Middle East, Islam has actually been encouraged to grow. How does that work? What were the atheists doing? Why were they there? It's almost like they will sacrifice their own in the drop of the hat, and they will compete. I haven't competed each other for that favorite butt boy position with the devil. And so you'll have these situations where, for some reason, the gays are working with, or pushing Islamic stuff, and you're like, what happens, right? But that's the thing. The house will not fight against itself. Not in the long run. It'll only do those controlled competitions and sacrifices, if you will. Now, I'm getting really political tonight, so we'll move on. And of course, Jesus calls them out for it, points it out, and then says, by what, importantly, by what do your sons call them out like? And good times. Whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. Oh, my favorite part. My favorite part is right there. You notice how a certain Satanist called George Lucas, or Satanist type, whoever is not with me, this is Christ talking, is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. There's a certain Sith who said something like that. Could it be that our wonderful George Lucas was mocking Christ when he had his false Christ figure, Anakin Skywalker, turning evil? Think about that. Yep, the evil Christ figure. Also, it just hit me, Anakin Skywalker was born by Immaculate Conception with the Force. Wow. Can the mocking increase some more? Evil Christ. I think those all these shows that make evil Superman, right? It's because we like the source man. No, you just want to mock it. I don't even like Superman comics.
I have friends Abe Lincoln all the more.
Well, that just came out of nowhere.
On itself.
Yep. All right, and then we have. This is apparently more of a spiritual warfare chapter than I remember, but here we are, and I just read it again. When the unclean spirit has gone out of a person, it passes through waterless places, seeking rest, and finding none, it says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when it comes, it finds the house swept and put in order. Then it goes and brings 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of that person is worse than the first. This is why in life, in spiritual warfare, in just spiritual life, you have to maintain and keep it up, because the same demons will keep popping up. The same nonsense will keep popping up. As much as they can try, they'll always be there around the corner trying to stay. And this is also why it's important, and why Christ makes it a point that people are to repent after he heals them. Because if they don't, he knows what happens when he's gone. Jesus. All right, true blessedness. Blessed are those who hear the word of God and keep it. Blessed is the womb that bore you, and he says, blessed is the one who keep it. Interesting. Even Christ is trying to tell Catholics sometimes, hey, more important those who heard it, not the womb who bore me. What? Yeah, I was being really positive towards Catholics. They did their Cristo Rey and all that. Woo! But hey, which, hey, that's why Mexicans got to go home. They got to restart Cristo Rey movement. Duh. Can't let them have Mexico. You guys come here. What happens is the Aztecs start taking over there, and then nobody has a fun time. You got to clean up our house. Wife has to clean up hers.
Don't trust for
Sign of Jonah. Okay, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit, because these stories, this is all interesting, right? But I had something I specifically wanted to talk about, and I feel like I'm getting lost in the weeds, or I'm gonna blind someone if I keep looking down to read.
Right.
Ooh, look at that. That spot is even more bald than the rest. Look at that.
Yeah, I know you have.
How is that even possible? That's amazing. Heh. You married me.
Before you.
No, I was getting bald. You saw the sides. Booed.
I remember you when you had hair.
I always had hair on my face. Anyway.
That's part that shines more.
You're welcome. Now I can bring down airplanes just by walking. Yes, laugh out loud. The baldness is
A
necessary.
helicopter shines their spotlight. It reflects right
back in their face. That's why they're gonna bring this old fogey out on the war stomp when the Civil War and everything starts. Oh, my hair is great. You know why? Why they're gonna bring me, this old guy with all these Gen Zers, to fight the drones? Is because they're gonna put my bald head right in front and center. Everything. All of it. My 6 chest hairs. All my hair migrated south, and some of it didn't stop. My wife can attest. Don't worry, she likes Dutchmen. It's her thing. Anyway, here we go. This is the one I really wanted to talk about. Oh, I keep doing it. Anyway, you know the worst part about losing all your hair and your bangs?
There's no cushion.
No. When you work out, there's nothing that catches your sweat. So like you know how it was, you go work out for like 30 minutes to an hour, and you wouldn't get sweat in your eyes. Well, it's like 10 minutes of working out, and then like there's sweat instantly in my eyes because there's just nothing there to catch it anymore. It's really frustrating.
Are your eyebrows thinning?
No, but you would be surprised. It's like a layered system.
I know.
You don't notice it till it's gone. You're welcome for sharing weird pains you didn't need for 500 points. So, woes of the Pharisees and the law.
Lawyers.
What does your Bible say?
Lawyers with TSB.
All right. What are some of the other versions? I think some of them call them Sadducees. This sounds fancy, but whatever. Like keepers of the law. Maybe it says scribes in some situation. So the lawyers are probably more accurate, but it sounds more political and silly. Yeah. While Jesus was speaking, a Pharisee.
They just say lawyers reproved in King James Version.
Huh.
The lawyers reproved.
Huh. This isn't another like this. This is either me being really old or another one of the Mandela effect things. Do you remember it different? Oh, we got a second like from somebody. Man, drive by like, show up and leave. Skydog, do you remember this at all? Like, was it Sadducees for you when you were a kid, or like scribes?
NIV, wasn't it?
Maybe. King James was lawyer even a word when
Pharisees and lawyers for the
like was lawyer
NKJV.
Whoa. When King James made it, was lawyer even a word
lawyer.
yet?
Yep, it was lawyer.
They had lawyers in the King James time? Huh.
It's a really old Bible.
I mean, look, like I said, this is either an old memory fogey thing or a Mandela effect. I believe it was just weird. I remember it being like scribe or something fancy.
Dang, look how old this Bible is.
Yeah. Anyway, look, if it's Mandela effect, it doesn't matter how old it is.
No. I think that NIV might have something different.
Hi. Anyway, whether they call them lawyers, it's even more funny that they're called lawyers. Wife. He wants in that container. He's like, can I get in? Can I do it? Can I do it? Anyway, I'm not distracted by a cat. So, while Jesus was speaking, a Pharisee asked him to dine with him. As he went in and reclined at the table, the Pharisee was astonished to see that he did not first wash before dinner. Now let's also clarify. This wasn't just like Jesus wasn't being nasty, not washing his hands. This was like a ritualistic cleaning. It was very, very intense and was less about being clean than ritual stuff. That's important. Now you Pharisees, all right. Then the Lord said to him, "Now you Pharisees cleanse the." Pay attention because this is going to sound really familiar to you. Pharisees cleanse the outside of the cup and the dish, but inside you are full of greed and wickedness. You fools! You fool! Did not he who made the outside make the inside also? But give as alms those things that are within, and behold, everything is clean for you. Hinting that they only care about the money. Do you know of anyone who only cleans the outside and doesn't deal with his insides in a non-serial killer kind of way? Yeah, Churchians, the fake Christians. I mean, Their buildings are literally that, like the reversal in a way. They purposely make the outside of their buildings ugly, and then the inside is like pristine carpets and everything. Why? Why? Because they're supposed to be austere, but they don't actually want it to be austere. So what did they do? They made the outside look ugly. It's so silly and dumb. And now they all just look ugly, but spend $1 billion on an interior that still looks ugly.
And their stages.
Like,
my goodness.
Wait, my personal favorite is these churches now that'll start in a warehouse and buy their own building and purposely make their new building look like a warehouse. Could have just stayed in the warehouse, bro. Oh, good times. Anyway, let's continue. Clean for you, but woe to you, Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue and every herb, and neglect justice and the love of God. Isn't that interesting, right? Jesus is calling for justice here, right? Pharisees take the money and do the ritual, but don't demand justice in their nations.
It goes on saying those. Okay.
What's your secret?
It's the second half.
I was on my way.
Okay, sir.
She's a little excited. It's okay, right? I mean, I don't mean to be a broken record here, but Epstein, Churchians, Christ is saying your tithe isn't good enough. Christ is saying your religion and your fake buildings aren't good enough. He wants justice and the love of God. Notice it's both of those, right? You can't love God properly and not have justice in your nations, because our injustice is an affront to him. It's a stench to him. He has to see all of it. You know, you and I, right? We have a way of staying sane because we don't always have to have it blown in our face. You know who has to see every kid and know every name that gets sucked into that system? God. Everyone. And, you know, he is amazingly merciful. But if I were in his position, I don't know if I would have stuck it out this long to see if we would change. And thank God he has. But it's one of those things you look at and you just go, how can we call ourselves? Oh, but we're not supposed to get into politics. But you're still willing to do. Oh, I'm losing all my bookmarks. Same people who went out and marched over civil rights. That was politics list I could check. And injustice on that front. Apparently can't do it when children's lives are at stakes. Stakes. Well, yeah, look, this was the only thing I could find this morning. Okay, I don't even. She's mocking the thing I used as a bookmark earlier. It's just happy that I had a cat in there. And now I lost the spot it was in. It's very sad. It was a good spot, too. And yes, I will continuously bring this up because it's something that needs to be said. And I refuse to ever let it go away. And to even the guys, like, even, man, I had to turn off a Razor Force stream because I don't know if he's like the whatever. He like pretended that we didn't get all the all the Epstein files were already released. No, a third of them were released. The most cleansed version of them, I might add, and nothing has happened. So no, we are not moving on. Ever. Now I must mock it. Forever. Yeah. Yes. I would be a funny torturer. Anyway.
Nobody knows who it is.
All right. But woe to you, Pharisees. Others. Woe to you, Pharisees, for you love the best seat in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces. Woe to you, for you are like unmarked graves, and people walk over them without knowing it. That's pretty rough. Saying basically you're already dead and no one's going to know who you were or what you were. And that's going to be the boomers in a nutshell. Can you think of any boomer who's going to be remembered for anything positive? The things that boomers think are like these big important events, like the Beatles. I laugh. They're already being forgotten in the boomers' lifetimes. Dude, don't you, like Skydog, don't you remember how you couldn't get away? Like every hoity-toity wannabe hipster nut job was listening to the Beatles when I was a kid. I couldn't have a crush on a girl without her singing some stupid Beatles tune up stage somewhere. It was really annoying. You had to pretend like if you liked alternative music, you had to pretend that you liked the Beatles. It was really, and now Gen Alpha doesn't even know what they are. You say the Beatles are like what you mean, like the Ugly Bugs? Maybe you mean the. Oh, that's gonna age me too. Never mind. Maybe we can. My mind was going to the Mummy movie and the Scarab Beetles. Yes, if my kids ever ask like what was the Beatles, I'm like, you mean like those things that like ate the flesh off the mummy, the scarabs? No, Dad, it was a band. No, I'm pretty sure we're talking about the Scarab Beetles. Yeah, look those up. Oh. Yes, anyway. We'll move on. But yeah, all going to be forgotten. Gone. Boy, they hate to hear it, let me tell you. If you ever want to really get them mad. Oh, my uncle can't hack it. He's not even a boomer, but he loves boomer music. It's so funny.
Radio station.
He's one of those Gen Xers who got just enough success, not a lot, but just enough in his head that he's gone all boomer. It's really bad. Yep. One of the lawyers answered him, "But what about me?" "Teacher, in saying these things, you insult us also." And Jesus proceeds to say, "That was intentional, you moron." Yeah, no kidding. And he also, for you load people with burdens hard to bear, and you yourselves do not touch the burdens of one of your fingers. Woe to you, for you build the tombs of the prophets whom your fathers killed. So you are witnesses, and you consent to the deeds of your fathers, for they killed them, and you build their tombs. Therefore also the wisdom of God said, I will send them prophets and apostles, some of whom they will kill and persecute, so that the blood of the prophets shed from the foundation of the world may be charged against this generation. From the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, who perished between the altar and the sanctuary. Yes, I tell you, it will be required of this generation. Woe to you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. You did not enter yourself, and you hindered those who were entering. That line gets me every time. It's like a tingle. It's just like, you held the keys of knowledge and you didn't enter, and you stopped others from entering. Darwinists in a nutshell, right? Oh God, I was trying to listen to a podcast. One of the guys, he has some interesting stuff. Ibrahim something. He's all about actually concentrating on the history of Islam and whatnot. But he's been going on these weird people's podcasts, and it was like having my liberal sister on a show, but actually notice Islam is like, oh my gosh, yeah, and but this is so smart, and I was just good, and then it's just people with pride and egos longer than a horse's. Yeah, that. Bye. Oh yeah.
He's gotta get up early.
Oh yeah. Later. It's good having you on, Skydog. Thanks for edging me on. It's always good. Oh, Gen Z loves 90s music. I missed that. Got to run. Yeah. And they're a little angry. Yeah. But yeah. All right. And this is what I wanted to concentrate on, because the boomer generation and a lot of what we're doing within Churchianity is Pharisee all over again. The sons of the devil come out, clothing themselves in righteousness, as they themselves enact the worst kind of injustice and do their lawyer thing. Two things a lawyer tends to do. No offense if you're a lawyer, but this is the thing. They make legalistic rules to enrich themselves. I guess this is three things. Enrich themselves and create a legalistic system that you need them for to understand. Second thing they do is they use that system that they made to make whatever they want legal. Like, it's illegal for you, rules for thee, not for me, kind of thing. And he was talking about that, right? Don't even lift a finger to help the burden, right? Using laws and legal speak to get what they want and bring everybody else down. And then the third thing, did I already say the thing where they basically call good evil and evil good? That's what they do. They use the legalized law. Like the lawyers, the Jews, there's a reason why there's so many Jewish lawyers, is because they're a religion of lawyers. They are the descendants of this group, basically. Not spiritually, not physically. Very few of them actually have any biological roots to the original Israel. But the modern Judaism is a descendant of the Pharisee religion, not of the original religion of Abraham and all that. It's kind of like if you were to say Mormonism was the direct translation of Christianity. That's just blatantly false, and every Christian will tell you that. It's that's what modern Judaism is. Modern Judaism is the equivalent if a natural disaster happened and all of the Christian religions died except for Mormonism, and then Mormonism claimed that they were the original all along. That's what Judaism is, the false Hebrew religion. It is a metamorphosis of a lot of disgusting things. But that's why they suck so bad. Oh, we're 46 minutes. Okay. Is because it's designed to use lawyer language to allow for anything and everything. No rules and all the rules at the same time. And as we've established, as Jesus has said, his burden is light. He's not going to demand that you work yourself into an early grave. You might have to be martyred, but it's not going to be because you were enslaved to the devil. And martyrs, God uses martyrs against his enemies. The idea being, you killed a prophet, now his blood is on your hands and you will be punished for it. It's a funny thought that people want to ignore, that martyrdom is the prelude. Like, you martyr his children, his servants, his messengers. You don't listen to them. You don't convert. You don't change your ways. You don't repent. Then the revenge of the Lord comes upon you. The Aztecs had this, funny enough. The Aztecs have stories about this prophet that came and told them to be better people, and then said if they don't, then the white god, like the godlike white men, are going to come across the sea and murder everybody. With beards and like metal caps and all this thing. And then the next thing you know, Cortez shows up with caps and angry beards and horses, and they go, what the? Isn't that interesting? Right. And of course, throughout the Bible, and repentance is possible, but if they don't keep it up, like Nineveh repented. Jonah wasn't happy about that. But then they were destroyed like a few decades later with a new generation because they went back to their old ways, and God went, okay, I remember the blood of my prophets. Likewise, gonna happen here too. So just remember that. I think that's most of what I want to talk about. Jesus requires justice, not just religion, not just pruning yourselves and tithing and all this. No. God requires justice. And he's going to get it one way or another. And I mean in this life, not just Revelations. No, not the end of the world yet. It's really annoying to deal with this with people. Not every nation has given in to the devil completely. Okay? That's what you need for the end times, is every single nation turning away from God, to the point that even the elect will turn, because, just for excessive pressure and time and this stuff in Revelations, where it says that Jesus has to end things early, otherwise bad stuff could happen to some of the elect. It's a crazy thought. But yeah,
It's interesting. I feel like most of the Southern churches in Revelation stuff as well.
yep.
And the part about
Hmm.
those who pay Jews but aren't.
Anyway, thanks for showing up. Again, sorry we're all late on everything and crazy this week as I fight stuff. Tomorrow we'll do the dev video, and then Wednesday will be the sermon that should be Sunday, and then Lord willing we'll be back on our normal schedule this coming week. Please be praying for us over the possibility of the job and dealing with the government stuff. Would really appreciate it. Man, as we get going and more people show up, we should totally do a prayer list. That'd be sweet. Anyway, like, subscribe, do the share, show up again. We're going to make this church happen one day. If you don't know, that's the goal. One day, have a physical church. For now, we just let God speak and do the rest. And do everything we can with what we got. All right. So we will see you guys in the next one.
Yep.
And we're signing out. And I always forget it's an extra button after the click. So now we're signing out.
Bye.